Hello and welcome to part 2 of our hardback memory book. Now on the last video I showed you how to actually make the memory book cover using your grey board and magnets, and I did say that I would cover it before I saw you next, which is what I've done. So I've taken the size of the grey board and then I've cut everything down by 1/4 inch, and you should be able to see now how you can still see the binding tape, but how the whole thing is now covered and ready to start. So I'm going to put that to one side, because what we're going to do is we're going to work on the pages themselves. So these are the pages that are going to fit inside that book that we're then going to affix our actual decorated pages to. So what I'm hoping to do today is to show you how to make the pages, show you how to put them in the book, and then I have had a go at making a first page, and I'm hoping I'll have time to show you how to make that page. So in order to make each page, you will need one piece of card, which is 6.5 by 6.5, and then a second piece of card which is 6.5 by 7.5. And what we're going to do is we're going to score the 7.5 one twice. Now what this does is it allows your page to fold flat rather than just folding up. So I'm going to fold it, I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, like that. Smooth that out of the way. And then I'm going to fold it the long edge, and there's my folded edge. On the inside fold, I'm going to fold inwards, and I'm going to burnish these quite well because these are going to take some degree of work, so you want to make sure they're well burnished. And then I'm going to burnish down the back fold. So I folded it in on itself and then I folded it back on itself. So what you'll end up with is a fold like that. And then just check, always double check before you glue anything, that that is going to fit nice and neatly on the back of that, but not over the fold. And we're just going to put the 6.5 by 6.5 on top. Now you could just have your page with just this one piece. I like the sturdiness of having a second piece. That's a glue that's almost finished. Having a second piece, because that takes it from 240 to 480 before you even start putting the pages on. And I like the sturdiness of the extra piece here. So I'm just going to stick that on. Now the others I've done already, so that's just going to go onto there. It doesn't really matter which way you put it. I prefer to put it that side rather than there, because you've got that crease and you really don't want to impinge on that crease. So I'm just going to give that a push down like that. So it should feel like one thick piece of card. And as I say, I've got some that I've done already. So we're ready now to stick them into the book. So you want this open. This first bit, this first thin bit, is going to be your spine. Okay, and this other one is just the thing that's holding it together. But this first thin one is your spine. So you're going to take your page and you are going to lift up your spine like this. And what you want is approximately, it doesn't have to be exact, approximately 1/2 an inch. So you're going to do it this way. So here's my little V. Okay, so it's going to sit, this first fold, my flap is here, my first fold is here, and that first fold needs to sit about 1/2 an inch. And in fact, for me, it's perfect because it sits at the edge of my tape. And that is just pure luck. That wasn't done with any measure. But you want it about 1/2 an inch so that you've got whatever you're going to put on here and whatever you're going to put on here aren't going to make it bigger. So you need about 1/2 an inch. And then you're going to put your glue on this very outside tab. So I'm going to put my glue onto my tab. Lift that up so that I know where I'm measuring. And for me it's easy, as I say, because it's roughly the end of my tape. And I'm going to pop that in, and it's smaller than your actual page. So you've got a little bit of a border top and bottom. And I'm just going to give that a really good hard press. Now, because you've got your tab, whether you can see, you've got your tab there. So your next one will butt up to that tab. So your fold line will butt up to that tab because that is a 1/2 inch tab. And then the new one will become your new 1/2 inch tab. So again, glue on the tab with the fold towards the front, butt that fold up to the edge of the last glue tab, and then glue that one down. Now this will help you to keep it straight because these are now working as your tabs. So then get your next one, again, your fold, your tab, put it up against it. That's going to work fine. I always practice before I put the glue on. Sometimes I think, why am I doing that? But it just absolutely makes sure I haven't accidentally got a page for another book, or I've accidentally cut the page wrong. I just want to see what it looks like in situ before I go and commit with the glue. So I'll put that one on. So we've now got 1, 2, 3 pages intact. I can see that they're not quite straight, but because they're all black and because they're all smaller, it's not imperative. So here's my next one. Again, there's my fold, there's my flap, glue on the bottom of the flap. So glue on the bottom of the flap, and butt that up to the one in front, glue that down, and I think I could probably get one more. So initially I thought 5 pages, but looking at it now, initially I thought 6 pages, but yes, 5 pages is going to be absolutely perfect. So last one, put the glue on, butt it up to the edge of the flap before, and that is going to be absolutely perfect. I could, just wondering whether I could get the last one in. No, not really. I can't really get the last one in. So, but I think 5 pages is probably good enough. So now you can see it's got its pages in, it's got its front fastening. I'm still not sure about whether I can get that last one in. I might be able to if I cut that flap just, I think it's just going to hit the hinge. I think I can just about do it. It would look nicer with the 6th page in. Let's see. I might just have to take it slightly. I want to lift that up so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I've got room for that actually, as long as I'm careful. Oops. Yeah, I'm just going to go slightly onto the tab before, just so that I know I'm not impacting on that hinge at all. So just give that a final rub down. So yes, I'm happier with that because I haven't now got a huge great gap there. So if you can get the 6th one in, yeah, that is better. Okay, so that's the actual book made. So what I've done is I've made one of the pages. And if I show you the page, so I've tied it with a piece of ribbon. Sometimes I just like ribbon. I don't like always to use fancy ties. And this is a flip-flap page, as you can see. So it's got a large flap, and on this I've used the Cool Cat die, and I'll show you which one in a minute, to create this curved pocket. And then I've used 2 of the Cool Cat dies, and again I'll show you in a minute, to create those tags. And then what I've used are the Tonic Nouveau drops, whether you can see, just to give that a little bit of definition, because the papers are quite delicate and I just felt it needed just a little bit of something else. And again, that was why the ribbon helped. So then if I open this up, the other side of this page is a simple diagonal pocket, and I've used 2 of the tags, mounted them on card, and then I've created another diagonal pocket so that when you open it up, it's got that sort of effect on it. And again, I've put some Nouveau drops on. I haven't put any on this page, but I've put some on that page. And then here, the smaller flap, I've just made it absolutely plain on that side. And then on this side, I have created a little photo frame. So these are actually not stuck down so that you can put your photo in. So I'm going to show you how to make that. The only thing I'm not going to do is the actual photo frame on that small one, because I want to make them both plain with the paper that I've got this time. So I'm going to start with this flap. So what I need, I've got lots of things here, so I just want to make sure I've got the right thing to show you. So that's the back, that's the big flap. Okay. So that's my flap, that's my page, and this should be my front, and it should have a flap on it. I've done that on the wrong one. Yes, like that. No, I haven't. It just goes on here. Like that. That's it. And there. And there. Okay. So, just move those out of the way for the moment. So this is going to be our first flap. So this is going to be the bit that looks like this. So on my front cover, I'm going to create a curved slot, and I have already done it because I didn't want to do any die cutting. So what I've done is I've positioned my Cool Cat's die, and I always call it the grumpy face. So I'm doing it with its grumpy face, and I've positioned it about halfway. Cool Cats are very good at putting little notches in so that you can always find your halfway marks. And then I've just cut it. So if I take the die off, you can see what I mean. And it just cuts away a little, I don't know, a little tag place, I think I'd call that. And you do actually get in here the little piece that you can fit back in. I think I've done it here. so that when you look at it, you can't see the blue underneath. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get what I need in order to make this. So what I've got is a piece here that is 6 1/4 by 6 3/4. So we're going down from 6 1/2 to 6 1/4. But the reason I want it 6 3/4 is so that I can make a 1/2 inch hinge. So I actually end up with a square 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. So just taking all these little yellow bits off. This is what tells me exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so 6 3/4 by 6 1/4, and then just score yourself a 1/2 inch tab so that you've got a 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 tab. So you're then going to have your little piece of paper, and that is going to be at 6 by 6. I tend to go slightly over because I only want a very small. So rather than going 6 by 6, I might go 6 1/8. But it is only minute and it really doesn't matter that much. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on. Now, obviously, I want to put my tags in there. So I need to be very careful when I glue as to what I glue. So I'm going to glue along the bottom with a thin line of glue. I'm then going to glue around the sides. And I'm going to put a line of glue from the edge of the cut out to the side. And that's as far as I'm going to go. I then go around the top of the cut to give it a little bit more strength, and then I put glue on the top part. I don't put anything on this bottom half, and I'm going to put that onto there like that and just press it, and press it very firmly round that upper part of the arch. So you will now have something that you can put something inside and it won't impinge. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now I am going to put this little thing back in. Just completely up to you. It looks absolutely fine like that. But I am going to put it back in. So I'm trying to make sure I've got it the right way up. Not sure which is the right way. I think it's the other way. And I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue, because what you do not want is to glue that shut. So just the tiniest bit of glue onto here, and then holding that flap up out of the way, just put this, slide this back in. So you're going to put it as tight as you can to the top and just slide it in, and then make sure you can lift that back up, and then you can press it down by getting your Teflon tool underneath there. Whoops. Underneath there. No, oh, it slid again. Sometimes I do wonder if it's more trouble than it's worth, but it does just finish it off. So it is worth it. You just need to be a little bit more patient with the gluing than I am. So just make sure that's all firmly in place, so that now you can't see the blue through. And then what I did was I've made 2 little tags, and to make these I've used the Cool Cats tag dies, and they are matte and layer dies. So I've made 2 of the little tags. So I'm just going to decide which side I want. Quite like that side for that one. So these are double-sided. No, I quite like that one as well. Quick, before I change my mind again. These are double-sided. So I'm just going to pop that one on there. Like so. And this one on, whoops, here. And this one's easier because I've used the packaging. So I don't really want the bit with the barcode and everything showing. So that's going to go on there. Now I did think I'd cut the tabs, but I obviously didn't. So if you look at these, you can see that there are two little tabs, one on each. And those again, they are called cat dies. I thought I'd cut them. I'm just looking to see whether they're over there, but I obviously haven't. So those will just go in there. I will cut the tabs because it does just give it a nice finish. I'm choosing which one I want at the front. I think I want that one at the front. So there's your first page complete. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the second part of this page, and this is so easy. And this is just this one. And we're going to take it, so if you have a look, if I lay this one down, we're going to take it from there to there. So that on the second one, we're going to alternate it. So I have my paper. And this, the papers, by the way, are 6 inches by 6 inches. So you're going in another 1/4 of an inch again. And I'm just deciding whether I want to go. I don't really want to go that way, do I? Because it's going to cut through the wording. So I think with this one, I might go that way and then that way. So I'm going to cut it diagonally across there. So I don't really want to cut through the wording. So I'm going to use my faithful trimmer, line it up on its 2 corners and cut it in half. And I'll need that again in a second. I now need another piece of blue at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and I'm going to cut that diagonally in half as well. So I'm going to cut that diagonally in half, like that, and that's going to serve me for 2 pieces. So I'm going to go like that. The pocket's going to be at the bottom, obviously, so I am going to glue this piece straight down onto there. So glue that all the way round. And I find these pockets so easy to do, but they just look, I think, quite dramatic, especially if you do them, as I say, 2 together. So that's going to go onto there just like that. And then this one will fit onto there with just a little border round those 2 edges. So, oh, I've got glue all over me. So I'm just going to stick this onto here. Like that. And glue that on. And you just want a tiny little edge. In fact, I'm going to, because I want an edge there, I'm going to pull it back a bit because it's not going to matter too much because it will have an edge on there. So now, to create my pocket, I just want a little bit of glue along that short edge and along that short edge, and then that will hopefully, sometimes you do have to trim off the corners a little bit, but this one is going to fit perfectly. And I've got here some little tags, and these are, there's a set of 12 by 12 tags that you can cut up from this set, and I will put them onto blue card to complete them and finish them off. So that's your front page done. So now what you want is the page that's going to stick to the book. So again, I've got a piece of 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. Take that off there. And I've got a piece 6 by 6. I'm going to take off there. Now, because I've rethought a little bit, so that tab is going to fit onto there. We'll put it all together in a minute. So this one is going to go here. Actually, it's going to be fine. I want my diagonal line to go up so that it sort of goes down and then up again. It is going to cut through the clock, but that's not going to be too bad because it will match up. So I want my cut from there to there this time. So put it under my trimmer, corner to corner, like that. Keeping it together so that I can see what I'm doing. That one's going to stick down, that one's going to be the pocket. So I'm going to stick this one down first. So a bit of glue all around the edge and along there like that. And just leave a little bit of a border, which is why you always cut it 1/4 of an inch smaller. So you can see just my tiny border. And then my other piece of the triangle that I cut earlier, and I'm going to put that onto there, making sure it fits first. Sometimes I do think, well, why do I do that? I know exactly what it's going to fit, but there's just that little bit of reassurance just by trying it. So that's going to go onto there, like that. And again, I want to make sure I've got a border on the pocket edge. The others don't matter so much. And then that's going to fit onto there perfectly. So glue along the 2 short edges, like that, and like that. And then we'll just position that. And as you can see, it doesn't really affect the clock, whoops, very much at all, which is quite nice. But you have then got your pocket. And just give that a bit of a burnish to make sure it's absolutely stuck. And then again, I've got a couple of, I've got love and remembered on those. So I'm just going to pop those in there, and again I will mount them on card. So then this, so you're going to use your flap, you're going to put some glue on your flap, and then that is going to fit onto the top there. Just make sure that there's no impact on the hinge, and when you're happy, just run that down. A little bit of glue there, I'll get that off with the glue rubber later. So that's 2 of your parts done. So now you just want your little flap going the other way. And as I say, the papers I've chosen, I want to keep them plain. So here's my 3rd little flap. And the flap itself, again, is 6 1/4. But this time it's 5, so it's 6 1/4. It's got to be the same height. It's 5, and it's got its 1/2 inch fold, so it's actually 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. So I've then got 2 pieces, and these are both 6 by 4, so they will fit nicely onto there, because obviously that is now 4.5 because it was 5, so it's now 4.5, so 4.25 fits neatly. And I'm just going to pop these on here like that. So make sure I've got it up the right way. I'm going to make sure I've got that up the right way as well. So I'm going to have that on the outside. So I'm just making sure that's straight. A bit of wriggle room because you're using wet glue. And then I've got, again, I've used part of the cover. So it's going to go that way. So make sure that the clocks are up the right way. So I'm just going to pop that. It's quite nice if you can use the packaging as well. And that's going to sit in there like that. Whoops. And then this will sit inside like this. So I want a bit of glue along that flap. Again, same thing, make sure it's not impacting on the hinge. And if you're happy with that, just give that a press down. I'm going to press both of them down from the other side. And then that folds in like that, that folds in like that. And then we just want some ribbon. So I'm going to get some double-sided tape, turn the whole page over, and put some double-sided tape on the back. And just peel off the backing like that. And then I've got some ribbon here. And always make sure you've got enough to tie. And just pop that on the back like that. I always cut more, because I think you can always trim, but you can't add more. I think I might just about have got this absolutely spot on right. There we go. So now you've tied it up, and now it's ready to go in your book. So all you're going to do is choose where you want it. I think I'm going to put it, I think I'm going to put it on the first page. So in fact I might put, because I've got to finish that one off, so I might do the one that is all finished, because I do want to do a bit of finishing off on that, so I don't want to go sticking it in yet. So plenty of glue, because this has got to hold quite a lot of weight. So plenty of glue. And then I always just hold my page up, because sometimes when it's all the same colour, it's difficult to see where your edge of your page is. So hold your page up and just position this so that it's not hanging over that joint, it's not hanging over the edge. This is quite a tight one, this. And then when you're happy, I'm going to open this up, because this is what I want to stick down. So I'm going to stick this down, and that is the first page of my memory book completed. So that comes up, and there's my first page in my book, all complete. Now the one last thing I will show you, I get my Nuvo drops. Some of you may not have seen Nuvo drops before. These are a tonic product. I love them. I can't tell you how many I've got, and I've got even more hidden away in drawers. And they're like gems, but they are self-leveling. So, when I can get you any closer, I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put 3 across there and 3 down there. So starting at the edge, and you literally just squeeze until you've got the size you want. And at the moment it's got a little bobble on it. That little bobble will level out and you will have a perfect dome. I can't lift it up very high because it will run. And then I'm going to put 3, and card makers always work in 3s, or at least in odd numbers. So I'm going to put 3 along the bottom there as well. And as they set, they will, as I say, they will level, and they will be perfect domes. So, oops. I will also put some inside. I will finish off the little bits for the top of the tags, and that will be that page finished. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Please, if you're watching it on YouTube, let me know. If you're not already subscribed, then click subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, please add a comment. Let me know what you think about the papers. They're beautiful, they're Stamperia. Let me know if there's any page technique you'd like to see, and I will be with you next week. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.